What's a Game Boy Advance video?
Bam! This is a regular Game Boy Advance game cartridge. This game in particular is Mario Pinball Land, which I got 11 years ago for $6. I looked this game up on eBay and now it's being sold for over $10 because it's such an underrated gem. But we're not here to talk about this thing, we're here to talk about BAM! This is a Game Boy Advance video cartridge. This one in particular, it says Cartoon Network Assignment. This would have had a label, it's kind of ripped off. Now they had to write what's on this thing. Not a perfect example of a Game Boy Advance video cartridge, but you can differentiate between the two because the game cartridge is black and the video cartridge is white. Good way to differentiate between the two. This particular video cartridge, I tried looking up the retail price, couldn't find an exact price, but I was assuming it sold for $35 at the time when it came out, which is around 2006. These things were produced between 2004 and 2007, and this particular one is now being sold for about under $20. It kind of goes to show how much this is worth. And of course, you wouldn't really assume that these, Game Boy Advance cartridges don't really have a lot of storage capacity. The maximum usually for Game Boy Advance cartridges would be 32 megabytes. For video cartridges, the most that can be is 64 megabytes. Still not a lot to put a lot of episodes on, so they had to deeply compress the videos to fit on these cartridges, which I'm about to show you because I'm going to demonstrate Game Boy Video on 3 systems I have. Bam! This is a Game Boy Advance that I've had since I was a little kid. This Game Boy Advance does not have a battery cover, but it does have 2 AA batteries. Now here's the video cartridge, and now we're going to plug this in and see how it looks. Spoiler alert, it's going to look like crap because, the Game Boy Advance, the original one, does not have a front light or back light. I do have a Game Boy Advance SP that does have a front light, and I do have a Nintendo DS that has a backlight. We'll look at those in a little bit, but first, let's see how it looks on the Game Boy Advance original. That's Game Boy Nintendo, you can just make that out. Game Boy Player! Not compatible with Game Boy Player. Yeah, because I would sure like to play this on my Game Boy much better television.
Hi, this is iMarley Video Editing. I should elaborate what a Game Boy Video is. It's a device that you put into your GameCube so you can pretty much play Game Boy Advance games on your TV. And these Game Boy Advance video cartridges have the ability to not be played on your Game Boy player, so that means you can't watch these video things on your TV. A bit of a minor misfortune because, as you're about to see, the quality of these Game Boy videos are not very good.
They can probably make out the horrible compression. Nerdisco Digital Video, Cartoon Network, and we have episodes of Dexter's Laboratory, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Operation Kids Next Door, or Codename Kids Next Door, I don't quite remember, and Courage to Cowardly the Dog. Press start, and let's see what's on this thing. We're going to be playing Queen of the Black Puddle. Let's see if we can make out anything. Let's click Select Info, and GBA Video Production Credits. Credits for this thing, and now start. And it actually plays a little preview of the episode. Well, it would. Oh, yep, it does. But we can't exactly make it out, so we're gonna have to just select this episode. And it will give us instructions on how we can play this episode. We can fast forward the rewind, and then button lock, hold with the D-pad, and we can control the brightness, and preview next chapter, previous, or switch chapters, and press start to pause the movie, press slide to go back to the previous menu. Let's just play this episode, or at least the intro for this episode. I mean, it doesn't look too washed out, but it is obviously compressed. Frame rates is a little low. That's enough of that. Well, we can't really see too much of that. We can obviously hear how compressed it is, but we can't see how horribly compressed it is per se because, no backlight or front light. So, what we'll do instead is, BAM! Play that Game Boy video cartridge on this Game Boy Advance SP. Almost said Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP. I don't think I'd really need to explain who made the Game Boy Advance SP, but anyway, plug it in there and see how it looks. This thing has a front light. It's not a backlight, so it's not going to look the best, but here we go. There's Game Boy Nintendo. Game Boy Player, not compatible with. Again, why would you want to play Game Boy video cartridges when they're going to look like crap on TV? I'm going to just go Digital Video, Cartoon Network, and just press start. You can always see, you can actually see stuff. Select credits. Just play the episode. And I can say this, it does look pretty bad on video, and it looks just as washed out, albeit a little bit more comprehensible in real life. Oh yeah, there's like brightness controls on this thing too, so I've actually tested that on the original Game Boy Advance. I don't think that's going to really make much of a difference. It looks even more washed out when the brightness is all the way up. Alright, that's enough of that. And now... Oh. There you go, that's the power switch. And now... Bam! Let's play it on a Nintendo DS that does have a backlight. As you can see, I normally use this Nintendo DS to play Guitar Hero. But now, let's see how it looks on this Nintendo... Let's see how the Game Boy video cartridge looks on this Nintendo DS. So there goes the cartridge. I don't think it was actually in there properly, so let's try it again. There we go. It fits perfectly. I'm going to use this guitar pick to just touch the touchscreen and start GBA game. It should look a little better because it's not a front light. Game Boy Player, not compatible with. Just go get to the video. Yep, looking a lot better. It doesn't look as washed out, although it's still pretty compressed. The preview actually looks pretty nice.
We interrupt this program to bring you
The sound call's a little bit kind of saturated, but it's the best we can do. Although with the better speakers on the Nintendo DS, it does look very worse. Oh yeah, it looks even more freaking distorted and saturated with the brightness levels all the way up. And just got done before the scary part happened. That is the Game Boy Advance video.
In conclusion, I would not recommend anyone to play Game Boy Advance videos. Less I have to say about that. See you next time. I'm out.